Hey, this is Jonathan, one of the members at Bear Bull Traders. I'm recapping my trade from September 9th, which was a Wednesday, and I traded CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines. If you think the candlesticks are moving fast, they are. This is at 32 times speed. My trade isn't until 10:30, so it's just a little bit away. In the meantime, I'll talk and tell you what I'm seeing. So CCL was certainly in play. It's got pretty high volume at the open. For the entirety of the week, some of the big money got out of some of the tech names such as Apple and Tesla and got into the travel sector like Carnival and the cruise lines and the airlines. So CCL was in play, but on this particular day it was down about 4.5% right now. And it is in a clear downtrend. So it had a weak open, made a low at, see here, made a opening low of 1764, but broke that and went down to 1736. I also have 1734 marked on my chart. We will go over to the daily chart. That's where I get my levels. Every pre-market that might be impacted. As you can see, 1734 right here. It had two high days right here, and then once it broke, it got whipped through, but turned out to be pretty good support. So this is a level that could definitely come into play today. So I had that marked down on my chart in pre-market. Carlos goes over those, and they are just amazing. They will definitely make you some money. You always got to watch the technical levels. It'll show where buyers are likely to enter and sellers are likely to sell. So CCL is coming down here, testing the low a day, which was 1736. Actually broke it by just a little bit. And now look at that. It broke low a day and on massive volume. It threw up 1.2, 1.3 million shares in that 1 minute. And however, the volume bar wasn't really any different than any of the ones surrounding it. I'll pause this for just a second here. If you look at the 1.3 million volume bar, it's no different. And this is what's known as an anomaly, when a candlestick doesn't behave as it should according to its volume. And this right here is textbook climactic volume. It is, let's see, this was about 2.5 thousand shares traded, and this was 1.3 million. That's about 6 times the normal volume, and this just stands out as climactic. And this is a very good sign that a trend reversal will likely occur. Now, will it always occur? No. Sometimes it will continue in the downtrend and it'll go and stop you out if you're trying to trade a reversal. But I will take this trade. I like the risk reward, and this is what I look for in many reversal setups. So I'll keep playing. I usually get in on the candlestick after the climactic volume. I would use my risk hotkeys, so I'd buy $50 worth of risk. However, it doesn't work for me in simulator, so I'm just going to buy the shares outright. In this particular trade, I took about 600 shares. So now it's coming up. I didn't get the entry at 1730, but I did get it about 1736. We will fast forward a little bit here. So 1736 is coming up here. And that way I am able to use the 1734 and 1736, the previous low of the day, as support again. So it'll have just a harder time breaking down. So I use these as support, and my stop loss was right below the low of the day. So I'm long 600 shares. I am liking it just because it is clear climactic volume, and the volume really dropped off again on the candlestick after. Now I am looking for a 2-to-1 risk reward. That's where I will take 25% off. I don't do any math, I kind of just eyeball it. So here's my entry. Here is my, sorry, I'll undo that. Here is my risk. I'm risking that much, so I want at least 2 of that. So it would be about 17, maybe 54 that I would be taking my 25% partial at. We'll fast forward a bit here. I'll put this at 8 times speed to get through it. 150 is approximately 25% of 600, so I will do that. And then I said 1754, so we'll sell there. So now I got my order in, and once, if that gets filled, even if I take a 125% partial, I always move my stop loss to break even. I will never turn a winning trade into a losing trade. It's just not something I do. So always, once my first profit target gets filled, I will press stop break even, and it will put a stop loss to where my entry is. And if it goes back, I'll get stopped out the remainder of my position, and I will just have the 25% partial that I was able to get. So after the 25% partial at the 2-to-1 risk reward, my next target would be VWAP. And VWAP is this red line right here. So that's at 1762 right now, it looks at. So I'll put another order for 25% at 1762. So I got 2 orders out there. And obviously if I go down and get stopped out, I'll cancel both of those because you don't want to be accidentally get into positions. So kind of just chopping around here. As you can see, the volume really died out. Like really died out. Again, this just stands out as climactic volume. This is textbook climactic volume. You're not really going to see any clear examples of this, especially on the 1-minute chart. So popped above the moving averages. It's kind of testing it a little bit more, seeing where it wants to go, chopping around a little bit. And there you go, got my first 25% partial. So that is good. If this were a real trade, I would press stop break even. And my stop loss would be set at break even. So no matter what, I will not go red on this trade. And now we're patient. I got a good cost basis, and I think we are going to test VWAP. Many times in this situation, once there's a clear trend reversal, the stock will go test the VWAP. It's a very, very important price on the day. We'll fast forward a little bit more here. But yeah, I use the 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart to trade. It just is what works for me. Some traders use the 2 minutes, some use 15, some use 30, but I found 1 and 5 are the clearest for me. And then I always go to the daily chart and the weekly chart pre-market to get my levels and mark down the levels, such as the 1734 one that I picked up this morning. It was excellent. Many times the levels are just magic, and it's exactly where the stock will reverse. We'll go just a little bit faster here while I'm waiting. And here we go. Look at this volume and look at that candlestick. It just breaks right through VWAP, and it is still going. I got my 25% partial at VWAP, and now this yellow line right here, it's the 200 SMA combined with the pre-market low, which would be another good sign of resistance. So I'm going to get out just a little bit more up there if it can break past those two. So I'll place my order at 1785. I'll get out 25% more of my original position. And I'm about to get filled, hit the price. And let's see here. Broke right above it, and there you go. It got filled, so now I'm down to just 25% of my position. I would press this again to readjust my stop loss to just the remainder of my position. Now I'm thinking we can get to high day on this thing. Like, it's really, really ripping. Volume is increasing on a couple of candlesticks in a row. And I'm thinking 1822 might not be out of the question for this stock. It's really starting to pick up some steam, and if it's anything like the previous days, then we could really see a big up move for this stock. Play a little fast right here. Now this is what worries me about this trade. About the rest of my position on this trade. This stock closed as a doji on fairly high volume, and dojis are also a good sign that a trend reversal will occur. So I'm thinking I should probably get out just a little bit more, but I do want to see if I can get the 25% at high a day. So I'm going to hold on to this a little bit more. But if it breaks down, I don't want to be stopped out at break even. I want to book my profit. So I'm going to be ready to cover the rest of my position if it starts to break down. But this doji on high volume really worried me, especially because it's right next to a sign where there's likely to be some sellers entering. And there you go. It broke down. I'll bring over my trade here. So, sorry, I only have 150 shares left at my average cost of 1736. Started with 600. So I'll get out the rest here. And we'll see. I'll paint this back to 32 times speed. And it breaks down from there. So it was a good decision to get out the rest. And it eventually comes back down and tests the 1744 level and all of that. So using volume price analysis, I was able to get a fantastic entry and a fantastic final exit up here where there's likely to be some sellers. And big thanks to Thor and Andrew and Brian and all of the moderators in the room. I've learned so much from you guys, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. See you guys in the room.